Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Pythomon Go. Today I'm going to be giving you a brief overview on modules and packages in Python. So let's begin. So first off, what are modules and packages? Well, packages is just a way of saying a folder to store modules in. And inside of the packages, there can be multiple modules. A module is a .py file, like Pikachu.py or Magikarp.py. A module is any .py file, so any Python file is classified as a module. Inside of the module, there can be multiple objects of Python, such as classes, variables, and functions. What are the benefits of using modules? Well, number one, it's simple. Number two, it's maintainable. And number three, it's reusable. And these three benefits are pretty much going to guarantee you faster coding and more efficient coding. I'm going to show you some of the ways you can import a module. And keep in mind, while I'm talking, I'm going to be referencing these three these three letters, I can say, module name, object, and alias name, XYZ. So that is just a little reminder for you. Import X. Import X is one of the most simple importing a module, or how to, because you just need two words, import and the name of the module. Import X as Z gets a little bit more complicated. It imports the module, but with a different name. So if we were importing a module called Pokemon, we can say import Pokemon as PK, which shortens it down. So when encoding, instead of using Pokemon, we're going to be only using PK. From X import Y1 and Y2 is also pretty simple. It imports some objects from the module instead of every object. So instead of like import X as Z or import X, which imports every single object from the module, import X from X import Y1, Y2 only import Y1 or Y2, aka the things we want it to import. The next one is from X import star. From X import star is very similar to import X, and it just imports everything from the module. However, there is a difference, and I will be talking about that later on in the video. Let's move on to organizing and importing files. So here is a file tree, and I will show you how you can use modules in this file tree. So here's some code that you can use. There's 6 of them in total. Let's begin with the first one. From Poke import Pika. We're in main.py right now. Okay, we're gonna be pretending that we're coding right now inside of the Python file called main.py. And right now we're gonna call up the module called Pika, which is in another folder inside Poke. So main.py will call up the Poke folder, and then it's going to say, hey, I want pika.py. So from Poke, the folder name or the package name, it will import the module called Pika inside of Poke. That's it. And then you can also do this and make Pika, instead of being Pika, short for Pikachu, it's going to be imported as PK. So Poke, from Poke import Pika as PK, and that's it. And then import test basically will import the module called test.py, which is inside the same folder tree as as main.py. So that's why we don't need to do from. And yeah. Now from poke.magi import my class is another way of calling up a module that is not in the same file. Basically, you just have to call up the package name dot the module name, and then import my class or any object you want to import from that module. And now let's move on to from test import func1 and func2. So from test, which is this module, import function1 and function2, or the things we want to import from test.py. And then the last one, from test import star, imports every object from test.py. Let's move on to import X. I will be explaining the commands I showed you earlier in detail. Import X will import every object from the module X. And here is a real code reference. So we have a module called pika.py, which has class 1, class 2, class 3. And inside of main.py, we have 2 lines of code. Import pika, which will import every single object from pika. And then we will put them like this. A equals to pika.class1, parentheses. Import X as Z basically will import the module as another name, as an alias name. So like pika.py, pika.py in this case has function 1, function 2, and function 3. When we import pika as pk, however, this is what we would do if it wasn't for if it wasn't for as z, we would have to do a equals to pika.func1. However, if we did import pika as pk, then it will be a equals to pk.func1 instead of pika, which is shorter. However, this one, it might not be too drastic. However, in some modules, their name is really long, like pretend Pokemon. We can shorten it down to pk or Pikachu, and it will make a drastic difference when you're coding. Now let's move on to from X import Y. From X import Y basically just imports some object from the module X. It will import the object that you choose and you want to import from the module. And in this case, I want to import only class 1 from pika.py, and that's what I did. And in here main.py, we can see that from pika import class 1, and it will only import class 1. And then a equals to pika.class1. Now let's move on to from X import star. So I will be going over why it's different from import X really soon. However, let me just take a sip of water really quick. Okay, I'm back, and my throat is very refreshed. For some reason, I can't really talk for long periods of time anymore. I don't know why. I used to talk for 40 minutes straight without having to drink a single sip of water, but now I can't. So yeah, let me just take a sip of water and I can continue with the rest of the video. So as I was saying, from X import star is basically just like import X, where you import everything from the file. In this case, pika.py. I mean, you import everything from the module, which is called pika.py. And inside of pika.py, there is 3 objects, class 1, class 2, and class 3. And we're going to be calling all of them in main.py. So from pika import star, A equals class 1, B equals class 2, and C equals class 3. And now let me tell you why it's different from import X. So notice the code in main.py. A equals to class 1, parentheses. Let's move back to import X. If you look, instead of A equals class 1 parentheses, this one is A equals pika.class1 parentheses. You can see that pika is here. However, if we look at from X import star, there is no .pika or pika dot. And this is because when you use from X import star, it automatically calls or like pretends the function or the objects are in your program that you are coding right now. And this one is useful if you aren't like on a large scale production. However, if your code you're planning to use like a large scale, then this is not a recommended import, because if you import multiple modules, then and then they have the objects that have the same name, then you would have run into a problem where if like the objects have the same name in like multiple modules, then it would be complicated, and then you would have to try to fix the problem. And if you were me, I would probably just stick with import X, which you just need to type out the module name again, and that is it. However, if you do import X, right, you can do import X as Z, and you can make your module name even smaller, and this will basically help you and won't make you run into any problems. Or if you prefer, you can just use from X import star, because you don't need to type out the module name. And yeah, it depends on your situation, but thank you for watching. I hope to see you in the next video, and I also hope you found something useful. See you in the next episode. Bye for now.